All right, right now it's actually just after 9 p.m. in Davos, Switzerland. President Trump has just finished his private dinner. Here's video of that private dinner on the screen. There were a whole bunch of international business leaders. This after making his rounds on the first day at the World Economic Forum. As business and world leaders scramble to get in front of the president, I asked the co-chairman of Bain Capital, Stephen Pagliuca, it's a big private equity outfit, what the atmosphere is like. How is it different? Now that President Trump is there, he's the first president since Bill Clinton to visit the World Economic Forum. Here's Steve Pagliuca.
There has been quite a buzz. I actually just saw President Trump come into the Davos Hall, the Congress Center, as you know, and a lot of excitement about that. And he has a delegation of 7 or 8 top officials, and I think that's good because they're having meetings with world leaders and talking about trade and economics, and I think more engagement is better than less.
Absolutely. Before he even arrived, though, you want to talk about engaging. He sent up a warning flare by slapping tariffs on things like imported washing machines and solar panels. The message, he would say, being America first. When it comes to trade deals, how do you as a businessman perceive that perspective?
Well, I actually think they softened that approach here. Gary Cohn has been addressing folks in the World Economic Forum and talking about the fact that, you know, we want free trade, but we have to have fair trade. I think those tariffs have not caused a major shock here, and I think there's lots and lots of issues like global warming and the global economies in general, the strength of the dollar that's dominating the news here.
Talk about that. You have used the strength of the Bain dollars to buy and sell all kinds of operations, take them private, then clean them up. You're wearing Canada Goose. You bought Canada Goose a couple of years ago. That's been a huge play. Tell us what the global atmosphere for what you want to do and bringing in money by making those transactions is really looking like.
Valuations are high, and what we do at Bain Capital Private Equity, we have a long history of going in, as you know, and working with founders or buying 2 companies at once, really trying to transform companies. And that model has worked very, very well for 30 years through up cycles and down cycles. In these kind of cycles, the main issue we focus on is making sure we're not trying to make our investment returns on a higher multiple than we paid coming in, because the multiples that we are paying coming in now are at the high end. So we've got to bank on really improving the company, improving exports, doing acquisitions, all the kind of things that are in our kind of blueprint playbook, and stick to our strengths and be disciplined.
This America First tariff move, had it been in place for Chinese toy imports, which we know has hurt Toys R Us, at least in part, if they were in place, would Toys R Us, in which Bain has a stake, be closing 182 stores or would be alive and thriving?
You know, I don't know if those tariffs would have meant anything, because there was a lot of disruption over the internet and also disruption from the fact that Walmart, which is a key competitor, was using toys as a loss leader. So that's past history from a long time ago, and I think it's very hard to compare what would have happened in a different scenario. But in general, Bain Capital and I think the world believes in free trade. It has to be fair trade. And I think the Trump administration and Gary Cohn is really talking about, you know, combining free trade with fair trade and making sure the agreements are fair for all sides.